leaders to be uncompromising about relaxing the program implementation schedule. Fourthly, transformational leaders must be situational leaders. This means it requires leaders to realize that there is no game without pain, and that the leadership style must quite often be directive, which means less democracy, particularly during early stages of the transition. What is needed is for the leader to have conviction, stand in the future, and picture vividly where the country needs to go, and then lead the way. A good leader also needs to groom and empower others to take over, realizing that the graveyard is full of indispensable people. The fifth character of transformational leaders is that they must form a winning coalition. And this implies that leaders should not attempt to do everything themselves, but rather strive to form and work with a formidable winning team. And finally, transformational leaders must seek divine intervention. This is necessary because human beings do not have full control over what happens. And divine intervention, whether you believe you are religious or not, divine intervention is solicited by being a good human being who cares and remains devoted to serve others, and especially the underprivileged. Being ethical, honest to the country and its people, and setting time for self-renewal through solitude and self-reflection. These traits are gratefully borrowed from the 6 Secrets of Transformational Leadership by Honorable Dr. Idris Jala, who is the minister responsible for Performance Management and Delivery Unit in the government of Malaysia. Excellencies and dear participants, it is now crystal clear in my mind that all the architects of socioeconomic transformation in their countries had the basic traits or qualities of transformational leaders. This is true of China's Deng Xiaoping, Singapore's Lee Kuan Yew, Malaysia's Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, and his successor, Right Honorable Mohamed Najib bin Tun Abdul Razak, South Korea's Park Chung-hee, and Dubai's Sheikh Rashid Sain, to mention but a few. A candid assessment of whether Tanzania has transformational leadership is beyond the scope of this address. However, speaking as a person that has had the privilege to work in the private office of the President, and now as Executive Secretary of the Planning Commission, for which the President is the Chairman, I want to confide that His Excellency President Kikwete is a leader with the poor people at his heart. He is also a man with sharp intellect and a mission, an icon that is easy to spot. As Honorable Dr. Idris Jala, the Minister for Pemandu in the Office of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, wrote to me last year, I quote, "Your President strikes me like a man with a mission. We would like to help him transform your country." In my view, this implies that as a country, we have an opportunity under the current administration, which we should not just throw away. But the question remains, does Tanzania have the minimum quantum of transformational leadership in the government and in the ruling party? I leave it here as food for thought to the participants. Dear participants, The second message. The second message, dear participants, is relentless focus on high-impact areas. In one word, prioritization. Successful transformation depends critically on how the fundamental challenge of making decisions in the midst of limited resources, whether it's time, finances, or human resources, gets resolved. And a universal lesson from all countries that have succeeded